What's going on, everybody? Yeah, so yesterday I started off talking about being on like these Benadryl sleeping pills and knocking over pea containers. So last night, I ran out of Benadryl sleeping pills, so it's just like, yeah, I'll just go to bed normally. And I only got 4 hours of sleep, so I'm very sleep deprived. But that's okay. I feel very calm and very loving and very peaceful today. And it was very harsh yesterday. It seems like whenever I'm at my peak, whenever I'm at my full capacity of extreme awesomeness, confidence and, working out and walking and, this and this and that, I start to tend to become an asshole. I am so caught up in feeling like I got everything under wraps that I don't really have empathy for people. And then when I have these low days, these days where I don't really have much energy to do things, I have a lot of empathy towards other people because I understand that life is fundamentally suffering. There's a lot of suffering in life. And I'm much easier on people. A lot easier on people. So yeah, even though I was pretty harsh yesterday, I still believe in what I said, though, without a doubt. I guess I could have said it more calmly, but when I get wrapped up like that, I start to go off on a tangent, like a binge tangent. And I was also quite manic when I started. I mean, if you watch the beginning of video number 80, I started off and I was like, ah, and I just finished like dancing in my room to Hamilton, and so I was already like really pumped up. And today wasn't like that. I accepted being slow this morning. Took my time. Came to peace with all things. Very present today as well. And I hope you guys are having a terrific day today. I video chatted with this person last night. She's into like goth and like skull stuff. She's so cool, man. Like, she was showing me a tour of her house and her room. And she had like the coolest room, man. It was like super, super freaking cool, man. Like, I have like a room full of like Winnie the Pooh and all these cartoons and like colorful stuff. And she's got the same diagnosis as I do, that we do. And she went the other route. She went the skull and demons and 666 stuff, and it's so interesting how we're all different, and I think that's the beauty of it. How some of us, we pretty much had the same upbringing. We had parents that weren't very loving. They weren't very unconditionally loving. We had trauma, complex PTSD, abuse, mental illness, personality disorders, all these things. And some of us, we become very childlike. We collect like cartoony stuff and, surround ourselves around like bright colors and happy things, like I do. And then there's other people that are like, totally like, yeah, like, more like dark and into skulls and demons and, like the death of the world and all this other stuff. And then I guess there's in between people, of course. I mean, there's like millions of people that have what we have. But yeah, it's interesting, man. It really is. Um, um, yeah, so I just, even though, I came across harsh yesterday, I don't, I still want you to know that, like, even if, people, may be the type of quick fix people I was talking about, I still care about those type of people. Immediately after I filmed the video, somebody sent me a message and told me that they were a quick fix person. And, and they talked about it. And they talked about how the people that they were raised by were quick fix people. And I think that has a lot to do with it. If you were raised by, these type of people that, believed in quick fixes instead of feeling their pain, then you might become that person too. So it's not essentially up to you or your fault at all. And the one thing that I learned from Dr. Brene Brown, is that what most people do is, instead of feeling their pain and going through the pain, they put that pain on others. They abuse others, and they say mean things to others. They hit people. They're emotionally, mentally, or physically abusive, sexually abusive even. Instead of actually going through their own pain and healing their own pain, they take that pain out on others, and they lash out on others. Narcissism is a very interesting topic. I was talking to somebody about narcissism the other day because they did a couple of videos on it. And it's all over the place now, man. I mean, if you go on, Med Circle or just anything on YouTube that has to do with psychology, like, it seems like narcissism is the new hip thing to talk about. And I think a lot of that, and this is just a theory. I think I've talked about it in like number 55 or number 51 or 47, or I talked about it before. But I really do believe that one of the main increases of narcissism in the last 14 years, and why there's more and more narcissists cropping up all over the place, and more people that are obsessed with significance and how awesome they are, is because of social media in the form of Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. People taking selfies, showing images of how great their vacation was, how great their marriage is, how great their life is. Taking pictures of like the great food that they are eating at restaurants, or the new cars or that they just bought, or their boat trips and all that stuff. And I think in doing so, in flashing how amazing you are in front of other people, I think that's slowly cropping up like a culture more based on wanting to be the center of attention, and wanting to be significant, and wanting to be seen, and seen as this amazing person. And in doing so, you're going to have something within you that isn't quite right. That isn't quite right. Because I think the more you do that, the more and more you're focused on you and what's going to make you happy and how great you are, and the less you're going to be interested in others, or there for others, or have empathy for others, or care about other people. It's all about focusing on how awesome you are. And it's going to be less focused on being nice and kind to others, or being empathetic towards other people in the world. Because life is all about me, me, me now. It's all about the person that posts all those things about how great their life is, or how good looking they are, or what they own, or what they're doing. And I get that sense from people. I feel like the people that I'm surrounded by that do that the most, that post the most stuff on Instagram and Facebook, I feel like they're the people that are really wrapped up in themselves. And I think that leads to narcissism. And I think as this continues, we're going to have more and more narcissists in the world. Also, when people are doing this all day and they're not really connecting with other people, I feel like they're detaching from other people. And I think once you detach from other people because you're so tuned out and you're so trapped in your own little world by doing this, you lose empathy for other people. And when you lose empathy for other people, it creates this world of it's just all about me, which will create more narcissists in the next 30, 40 years, which will create more sociopaths and psychopaths, which will create more people killing more people, or harming other people, or people treating people badly. I once hung out with this woman, and she was with a narcissist for 3 years, and she told me all the things that he did to her. And I was like, holy fuck, man. Abuse after abuse after abuse. And she had such a low self-esteem, she just took it. I'm sorry, there's no such thing as low self-esteem, low self-worth. And that's the issue, man. That's the issue. And a lot of us out there, it's not that we just have low self-worth or low self-esteem, it's that we try to save people. We just want to save people. Especially if you're like us. If you come from trauma, if you come from an abusive family, or if your job in your house when you grew up in childhood was to make everybody happy so you wouldn't be abused and the people around you wouldn't be abused or yelled at or screamed at, you did your best to make people happy or to love people or to make sure everybody was okay. So your job was to save people when you were growing up as a child. So now when you're an adult, you try to save people. So if you're in an abusive relationship with somebody that's like a narcissist or something like that, you'll keep being abused just to be like, well, they're almost there. I could almost see that they're changing, that maybe they could still change. Maybe I could still help them. Pretty much my entire life, until I realized that I was doing this, I was a saver. Like like everybody I dated, I would try to save them. I would try to make sure that they were happy and cared for and loved, because that was my job growing up in childhood, trying to make sure everybody was okay in my house. I wanted to make sure everybody was happy and feeling loved, so I was always like the funny person. I was always like the one that would like try to make people laugh because I didn't want to see people get screamed at, or I didn't want to get screamed at. So then when I grew up, like, I always dated these people that were, like, really messed up, or, like, really did not care about anybody. Like, I remember I dated this one actress. She was an only child. She was an actress. She was extremely good looking. She could have anybody she wanted. And, like, I dated her, and oh my god, it was the worst fucking relationship I ever had, because she did not care about anybody but her. And it was like, and it, like, I was just abused by her. And it was just like, and it wasn't emotional or physical, or it wasn't any form of abuse. It was just neglect. She was so unloving, because she was so, like, narcissistic, because she was so obsessed with herself, because, like, growing up in high school, she was like the prom queen. She was always the star of that play that year, and like the theater program in that county was, like, famous across the state, and, like, she was always, like, the star of the play, so she got mad attention. Like, I went back with her to see a play with her in her hometown at her high school, and it was like she was like a fucking goddamn rock star. And it was like 3 years after she graduated high school, and she was in college with me. Like, she was like a junior in college, and we went back to her hometown to watch, like, the play that spring, and she was like a goddamn fucking rock star. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, Andrea Birch!" Like, I'm sorry, I said her fucking name. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. But, like, but holy shit, man, it was like fucking, oh my fucking god, and like, she was the most neglectful person I've ever dated in my life. But she got that way because she was a single child that always got attention. Like, everybody was always obsessed with her because she was fucking hot as shit, and she was always like, and she just had this air of fucking, like, I'm better than everybody, and I'm gonna shit on everybody, and I don't give a fuck about anybody but me. And I think that a lot of us that, I think we're so used to that growing up, being shit on by people, that we gravitate towards those people sometimes. And I think so I think one of the reasons why we end up with narcissists is because we're used to being treated like shit. And we try to save them. Like, well, maybe they'll treat me better, maybe they'll get better. No, no, no. But the thing is like, I think we gravitate and try to, because it's familiar to us. We're used to being neglected. We're used to being treated like shit. We're used to being abused. So when, like, we're around, like, a narcissist, like, it's just familiar, because that's what we grew up with our entire life. Or they're great manipulators. Like, you won't even know you're dating a narcissist until, like, you're, like, toe-in dating them for months sometimes even, like, 2 years. You'll be dating a narcissist or somebody that's, like, really fucking sociopathic or psychopathic. You won't even know that they are, because they're such good actors that they'll, like, manipulate you, and then they'll start fucking abusing you and neglecting you. Anyways, holy shit, man, that was a fucking dark one. Okay, yeah, and there's, like, a fucking rainstorm, like, fucking thundercloud outside. Holy shit, man. Sorry I got so deep in that one. But that was a good one, man. Yeah, that was a good one, because I think a lot of people that speak about narcissists, on YouTube, like psychiatrists and stuff like that, I think they get it, but I think it helps when it comes from the perspective of somebody that comes from an abusive trauma family like we do, or somebody that has, like, BPD, borderline personality disorder, or clinical depression, because I feel like, or bipolar, because I feel like we fall more into the situations of being with narcissists. And I was talking to my buddy Sarah about this the other day, and and I'll wrap it up, but I pretty much said that the reason why we run into so many narcissists and have a relationship with so many narcissists is because when, if we're borderline personality disorder, bipolar, or, like, clinically depressed, when we get really low in our depressed state, like, we just want love. Like, we'll take love from anyone. Like, because we are so fucking depressed, all we want is to feel loved. Like, that's it. We just want to be cared for. And like, when we're that low, like, our body posture goes down. We kind of like look kind of sad. And like, narcissists and predators, they love that shit. They see that shit from a mile away, because they gravitate towards that. They're like, oh yeah, that's another victim. They're fucked up people, man. Sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists, and fucking predators, like child predators, like sex abusers. They could pick up on signs of somebody in that weak state, like hunched over shoulders, like low self-worth, low self-esteem, kind of sad looking. They pick up on that. They can see that from a couple feet away, and they'll just gravitate right towards you because they know that you're easy prey. You're a target now for them. I'm not fucking with you. And another problem that we have, not for the clinically depressed, but, well, I guess the clinically depressed could also get overly happy when they come out of the depression. So I'll add them in. So for the clinically depressed, the borderline personality disorder people, and the bipolar people, when we get super fucking manic and happy, like, we're so fucking crazy and fucking insane that we don't have our social awareness targets right. Because we're just like, wow, let's go fucking crazy, wow! Like, let's, fucking go nuts. And like if you're a narcissist, or somebody that's like really like confident, or just fucking crazy, like maybe even a sociopath or a psychopath, but even though like they've done studies on narcissists, psychopaths and sociopaths, and they claim that they all have like super low self-esteems, I don't know if I quite buy that shit, but I don't know, that's what they say. But I don't know if I quite buy that shit, but that's what they say. They say a lot of shit though. I'm talking about doctors and psychiatrists. But so when we're in that crazy manic state, right? Like, those people, they kind of like that energy, like the sociopath, psychopath, narcissist, and like just overly confident people. They like that energy because they're like, oh, that looks like a fun fucking time. Let me fucking hang out with that person. And they gravitate towards us. And then, and we can't pick up on the signs that they are a narcissist, or that they are a psychopath or a sociopath, because we're so fucking crazy. Our radar is down because we're fucking crazy. When you're that manic, the reason why they call it manic is because it's mania. It's called fucking insanity. That's why, like, most of us are on disability, because when we get that fucking crazy, we also get fucking angry and want to kill people. Because we're just fucking insane. The chemical imbalance is so goddamn high, we just become fucking maniacs. So I think that narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, and fucking overly confident people, when they see us in that crazy fucking fun state, they gravitate right towards us because it's a fucking good time. So we might get wrapped up in them in the high state because our social awareness is down and we can't pick up on signs that they might be a narcissist. And when we're in the low states, they gravitate towards us because they see us as prey and easy targets, because we're all hunched over, we look sad, and they're like, ha 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 ha. So I think people that are borderline, bipolar, and clinically depressed, we are targeted more by narcissists than most people. And we usually end up dating most narcissists. I dated a narcissist for 2.5 years, and one of my best friends for 4 years was a narcissist. He was the worst fucking friend ever. And I still have like trauma flashbacks of the shit he did to me. And he was a fucking guy. Fuck. God damn it, man. Anyways, I hope you're having a great day. Fuck. These videos are getting better and better, man. I'm really enjoying doing them. Anyways, yeah, guys, I hope you're having a fucking great day, man. Have fun today, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alright, guys, have fun. And if you have anything to add to that, leave a comment below. You know, if you're one of the 14 people that watch the videos. And, yeah, if you're feeling bored and you got $1 on you, man, buy the ebook, man. It's fucking dope as shit, man. It's cool fuck as hell. I know nobody really reads anymore, but might be cool to read. I don't know. Whatever. Fuck it. Yeah, man. Have fun. Thank you so much for everything. And yeah, I hope you're having a great day. And if you're feeling kind of low today, I hope you feel better. And I hope everybody around you is okay. And if you don't have many people around you, I hope you're doing okay. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Love you. Take care.